Hi everyone, for this week's Tweak of the Week, I've come to Loughton in Essex to Dr Medispa. This is the clinic of Dr Munir Somji, and I'm going to be talking to him about a new injectable filler called MaiLi. Now MaiLi is a hyaluronic acid based filler, but with most hyaluronic acid fillers, you've got this kind of compromise between how much stretchability you get with them and how long they'll last, and the softer kind of fillers don't tend to last very well. But MaiLi is quite different because it's made differently, but it's a bit complicated, so I will get Dr Somji to explain it to us. So come with me and we'll see what it's like. Oh, and also he's going to treat my lips with it, so get to watch that too. So Dr Somji, can you tell me what this new injectable is, MaiLi? Why is it different to others?
Well, it's similar to others in that it's made of hyaluronic acid, but each hyaluronic acid filler is very different in its makeup. So this uses something called a smart springs technology. Okay?
Smart spring technology.
Absolutely. So,
fantastic.
So you can think about it as essentially one of those modern mattresses. Okay. So it's actually highly flexible. Okay. But it still retains its shape. So it's got a great lifting capacity.
Okay.
So that basically means, well, if you translate it into real life, when you're injecting filler, it doesn't stay in one place. So for example, if you smile, it doesn't stay still. It moves with your body and with your animation. So if you've got areas which are highly mobile, i.e. around the mouth, around the cheek area, it moves exactly like your normal tissue.
Okay, but it's largely staying where it's put. It's not like moving around your face.
It will never migrate. So that's the thing. It's got a high lifting capacity, so it stays together like this. But the crucial thing is it's highly elastic. So it will always snap back into shape.
Right, now that's really unusual, isn't it? Because usually if you have a filler that's going to give you more projection definition, it tends to be a bit stiffer.
Exactly.
And so it becomes more obvious and bunchy when the face moves. But this has got the ability to kind of go with the tissues?
Absolutely, yeah. And it reforms back into its shape, which means that you can get really nice contour, but you don't have to limit the amount of naturalness that you have post-injection. And
how long does it last? Because usually when you've got a more flexible kind of filler, it doesn't last very long.
That's a good question. Well, there's something else that's unique to MaiLi that's not there with other hyaluronic acids. So when they're actually engineering the product, they engineer it without any oxygen, okay? Which basically means that there's less breakdown of that structure.
Right, and I mean, that's very new, isn't it?
That is very new, yes.
Yeah, okay, there's nothing else like this.
Nothing else like this in here. And also the other crucial thing was that if normally when we inject subconsciously without even knowing about it, we probably inject a little bit more than we need to, knowing that the filler is going to break down. But with MaiLi, because we know that it doesn't break down as quickly as other products, then you actually need to inject less.
Wow.
And that's crucial over a long period of time. You're still going to look quite natural.
That is really crucial, isn't it? Because now looking natural, this comes on to, I've stepped up and volunteered my lips to be done for this treatment. But of course I walk in here saying the very tiresome thing was, I don't want to look over enhanced. I don't want to look too obvious. I'm obviously very happy to look like I've had a lip treatment done, but I feel my lips look quite flat, quite old, that kind of collapsedness you get. There's a reasonable shape to them, but they need a lot of hydration. I don't know what you would say as the doctor.
One of the things that we all know about now is that obviously your collagen goes down, okay? And with a decrease in collagen, you get a break of your transepidermal water barrier. So the hydration is gonna lack. Okay, so you replace that with a nice hyaluronic acid that's elastic, especially in the lip area, which is probably the most unforgiving area. Then you're going to attract a lot more water. You'll have that natural plumpness. You're happy with the shape. So there's ways of injecting this in ways so that you don't disturb the shape and just have that slight enhancement.
Okay, this is where your skill as an injector comes in, isn't it? To know what's going to be right. Because we were chatting about this a bit earlier, and I said, I wanted to look natural, whatever, and you said something that made me laugh, which was, oh, you want a placebo lip treatment. So what do you mean by that?
Well, I think this is something that I've had requests for over the years, saying, look, Dr. Somji, I want to have my lips done, but I also don't want anyone else to notice, but I want to notice myself.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So And that puts me in a conundrum, but that's what I'm known for, I guess. And what we want is that subtle treatment. So like you basically say, well, okay, I'm happy with it, but I want a little bit more. Can I get a bit more? No, go home.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to do if I summarize the treatment.
You don't need to use anaesthetic with this, do you? Because it's got anaesthetic in the product.
It's got anaesthetic in the product. Sometimes you can use some topical anaesthetic just around some of the entry points. Okay. So less trauma means not as much swelling.
Fine, and I must get all my questions in now because I know when you're treating me, I shall have to keep still and not talk. Which is
everyone talks. You can do that.
Right. Well,
let's go.
Good.
If you turn this face to the side, you can actually see that both of the lips go inwards, okay? So we want to make sure that we replace some of that volume. Now, we have to be careful, of course, because you don't want it to stick out.
Appropriate.
So you don't want to have to go into a room thinking, oh my God, my lip's going to come out. If you just whistle for us, you can see that you've got these vertical lines just above, okay? And that's all to do with lack of volume as well as structure within this region. So it's very tempting to have filler injected directly into those lines. Not a good idea.
Glad to hear you say that, yep.
Because what happens with aging is that there's an elongation of this upper lip anyway. So if you put, exactly. Yeah. So what do we want in a nice lip? You want a ski slope. So you want that nice convexity, not a concavity. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do we want to do? We want to shorten this gap between, between the end of the nose and the top of the lip. Okay. So we want to actually replace within the red lip, and if you do that, then you're going to get that little look over there. Okay. So we're going to inject to make sure that it's nice and symmetrical at rest, and the rest your muscles take home. All right.
Thank you.
Simply speaking, the volume you have in your lips means absolutely nothing, because it's all about the rheology of the product and how viscous the filler is. So 0.5 mils of a high voluminous viscous product is probably going to be the equivalent of 2 mils of a very light fluffy product. So therefore the amount of filler that you have in the lip means absolutely nothing. It's about choosing the right product rather than choosing the amount of filler that you have. There's a golden plane that you want to sit in, and it's right there. So this is subdermal, but what we want to do is inject just in a nice controlled fashion. Like we said, one strip, and you can see the lip just lift naturally. That's it. And now smile for us. You can see it's completely natural and no lumps and bumps. I mean, the thing is that normally I'm so quick, by the time the light gets I'm done. I am pretty much done. I'm just going to touch up now, okay?
Amazing. So you have literally put a thread around the top, the outline.
Yeah, so you've had, we talked about mils, you've had 0.6 mils in. So just relax for us now. And now we're just going to look at slight asymmetries and balance that. But you can see already, it's probably good for you to even have a look. Yeah, so this way, if you don't even, if you inject,
that's great, isn't it?
I mean, look, let's just see, because you can see on the camera, look, how much you really bleed with this. That's it. And I'm going to put a little bit, I'm going to put a secondary strip just in the top lip.
Thank you.
Just for like perfection. Okay. But you can see, you know, there's hardly any swelling.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
No problem.
So that was this week's Tweak of the Week. Thank you very much for watching.